Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to a special episode of Radio Rebellion Star Wars podcast. It's Halloween, so we're here. I'm your host, Alberto Calderon, and with us on the other side is our co-host, Oti. Oti, how are you today?
Doing good.
All right, that's enough. That's enough of that. All right, there we go. Oh, Brennan's here. How you doing, Brennan?
Hey, Brandon.
All right. It's our Halloween episode, Oti. Are you a Halloween person? Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a Halloween person.
All right.
Not for any particular reason. We can talk about it, as we go along. But no, not a Halloween person.
Right. It's something I always liked it. I decorate the house. I get dressed up if I can. But here in the States, I don't know. It took another level. Like in general, people are really into it. It's like since mid-September, people are already decorating their houses. My kids are going to a Halloween party today. Everyone's crazy already.
It's a capitalism thing. Like
Oh,
I
well.
already saw Christmas things in Walgreens.
Oh yay, Christmas! If you go to stores now, it's all Christmas.
I am, however, a Christmas person.
Yeah.
Yep, I love Christmas
we
and
are
Thanksgiving.
I love the food. I try to lose a few pounds before the holiday season, because I know I'm going to gain them again. Yeah, and not during. It's impossible, especially in Puerto Rico. So much good food.
Yep.
All right, everyone that's out there, thanks for joining us today. Thanks, Brennan, for being here as always. So anyone that might join us later today or when you watch this later on during your free time, thanks for being here. Make sure you subscribe to our show if it's your first time joining us, or if for some reason you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's pretty quick. Like, comment down below, thumbs up, all that fun stuff. And later, if you're listening to this on the other podcast, thanks for taking a couple of minutes to listen to us and give us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Oti, we tried to talk a little bit before, but we didn't have a lot of time. Things over there is a lot of rain in Puerto Rico. People are going nuts. You were I don't want to say late because it's still early, but
I got here. I usually get like 5 to 10 minutes before we start. Thing is, as we were talking, it's been raining here since Wednesday. Today it really hasn't rained that much. As I was walking here, I saw it was getting cloudy. But last night, all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Like, it rained for the entire day, like the whole day. And last night, like everything flooded, like everything. And I think you saw pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I saw pictures from thank God I didn't go to the office because I was gonna go, and then I was like, I don't want to drive there. And the people at my office couldn't leave because the first floor of the parking was flooded and they couldn't get out. So that was crazy. And there a lot of like the main streets were people, like you saw people had to turn around because they were gonna ground the car. And so whenever it rains, whenever we have things like this, like power outages and communications get all crazy. And I'm staying at my parents' house because I'm taking care of their dog, and they like don't have great Wi-Fi. I was gonna do the show there, but like they didn't have Wi-Fi throughout the entire day. So I was gonna use a hotspot, but I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll just drive to my apartment and do it there. And I got here, and as I set everything up, like it took me a little while, so that's why I was late.
It's fine.
And also, Alberto, I wanted to say, I changed up some Wi-Fi things. This is why there's like a cable mess. So when I got here, I had to finish setting everything up because I had started, but then I had to leave to my parents' house, so I did it. And I don't know how the show's gonna go, Alberto, but I'm seeing it. I have like very steady Wi-Fi. I've been doing my podcast on StreamYard, so I have not had no issues. So
no issues
between you and me and Radio Rebellion. That just
it's something. It's our Radio Rebellion connection is not working. Daniel has taken over and set up their storm
It's
wall.
the Nile and the Empire disrupting our communications.
Yeah, our communication buoys have been knocked down, but hopefully we'll be fine. So I've been reading. I finally started reading Eye of Darkness. It's still under embargo till Wednesday, I think, and then it comes out the 14th. So it's still time. So I really can't say anything. It's so good. I'm like a little bit. I'm like 40% into it. It's so good. It's what I kind of wanted. Being back. Come on, Phase 1 characters. It's just the prologue. I'm just gonna say it's a Markion Rowe prologue. There's some new characters, but it's Markion Rowe doing his stuff. He's a bad man, dude. We love him.
Don't talk about it too much.
No, I'll leave it there. When you get it, start reading.
I'm dying to read it. It says it's getting here like on the 14th, I think. So.
Cool. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. And talk some Star Wars. So if you guys are ready, I'm not ready. Let's talk Star Wars and Star Wars news. Star Wars news. With, I was going to say our friend, we don't know him. Shawn Levy has been doing some interviews for his upcoming Netflix series. Let me hear, miniseries, All the Light We Cannot See. And he was asked by Variety about working on his Star Wars. And I'm reading this I took this from Star Wars News Net. And he mentioned a conversation he had with Kathleen Kennedy. And quote, he says, when Kathy Kennedy brought me on board to make a Star Wars movie, her central mandate to me was, I want a Shawn Levy movie. I want a story and a tone that reflects you and your taste and what you bring to your movies with a Star Wars story. So I felt extremely empowered. He added in a separate quote, so I'm going into the development of my Star Wars movie with a similar optimism and faith that my instincts will be allowed to lead the way. There's another quote I'm going to get there in a minute, and it's kind of what's scrolling down there right now, but this movie hasn't been announced, right? This is, for some reason, Shawn Levy said he's working on a Star Wars movie, and I don't know anything right now, so...
I want to know how does Lucasfilm work? Like...
right? Don't say anything we don't announce, but yeah, go and
because he's saying I talked with Kathleen Kennedy, so he's either a liar or like.
And he's saying my Star Wars because he was asked about freedom of doing Marvel movies because he's doing Deadpool 3, he's worked with Ryan Reynolds before, Mark Ruffalo, and he said, yeah, so I'm gonna bring that. It's been great. I'm gonna bring all that to my Star Wars movie. It's like, dude, it hasn't been announced. What are you doing? I'm scared. But that's separate. I'm not gonna say that he's a liar.
Why are you scared? Best case scenario, we get a Star Wars movie that wasn't announced. Worst case scenario, we don't get a Star Wars movie that wasn't announced.
So that's scary is probably not the right word, but that's something that worries me in this fandom. That every time something happens, let's blame Lucasfilm for another failed movie. This hasn't been officially announced. So if for some reason this doesn't happen, or it's 10 years in the future. I know that Shawn Levy is talking, but Lucasfilm hasn't announced this, so chill a little bit. But my question to you for these quotes, do you think directors, creators, and we talked a little bit about this last week in a different sense, when you hear him say, oh, I'm going to do a Shawn Levy movie, or Kathy Kennedy said, do a Shawn Levy movie, should it be a Shawn Levy movie or should it be a Star Wars movie? Does it matter? Because there's a fine balance to make something feel like it's Star Wars and it's just not just sci-fi. But they need that creativity because we went through this with Solo, right? They hired I just forgot the name from Spider-Verse.
Lord and Miller.
Yeah, Lord and Miller. They're gonna do Solo. When they saw the daily, supposedly was all over the place. Okay, now we gotta ring it back. But now it's Shawn Levy, go do your stuff. Where's the balance?
I think the balance is as long as your style doesn't go over what Star Wars is supposed to be. And for example, I don't think a Zack Snyder vision would work with Star Wars. I don't think a David Fincher vision would work with Star Wars. Nothing against those directors. I love David Fincher. I hate that he's a nihilist, and Star Wars can't be a nihilist story. So I think that's where the balance is. Sean Levy, I'll be super honest. I have not seen Free Guy. I have not seen the Adam
Adam
Project.
Project.
Adam Project. I have not
Yeah.
seen any of those movies. I did see his Stranger Things episode. So I don't really know what his sensibilities to action movies is. So yeah, not really sure how
I
I
seen
feel
both
about
of them.
anything. Okay.
I really enjoy Free Guy. I seen it a couple of times. There's a scene with a lightsaber that Ryan Reynolds gets to use. It's very funny. I mean, you got Taika Waititi in it as a over-the-top video game creator, which fits in perfectly. So I do think that works if you want to go a more comedic route, action comedy for Star Wars. I wasn't the biggest fan of Adam Project. Didn't work for me a lot. For a lot of people, it did. I didn't feel the connection they wanted. This time travel kind of. He goes back and meets his younger self, and there's this issue between him and his dad that I didn't feel that the relationship, the tension between the relationship didn't work for me. Just kind of, this happened. Me and my dad don't talk. So when the whole movie goes by, I didn't feel that they needed to reconnect. Okay. So I'm like, whatever, we'll see. So we'll see with Deadpool. It's very different. It's more control, of course, with MCU compared at the same time with Lucasfilm. So I don't know. It's because then you go to something like Andor, right? You can say that Andor is more of a Tony Gilroy thing than a Star Wars, but it worked. It felt like Star Wars,
but it still feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. The balance is still there. Like, it's a more gritty and darker story they're used to, but the Star Wars themes are still there. We went through this entire Dower season, and the end is like, no, hope is alive.
Yeah.
Good will always triumph.
Yeah.
So yeah. You know what I'm not looking forward to? When he releases Deadpool 3 and everyone starts going, this is the moment. Now we need to have an R-rated Star Wars movie. This is it. Now, this is the guy who's going to do it. He can work that balance in. Fuck you.
We don't need R-rating in Star Wars, but F you.
You know what? If it were up to me, every Star Wars movie would be rated G.
Yeah, I mean, they were, for the most part. Till Revenge of the Sith was the first PG-13. So it's and I know 70s and 80s, like PG was all over the place. It was difficult.
PG-13 did not exist.
It didn't. So, but there you go, Lucasfilm again. Yeah, I don't want R rating in Star Wars. It takes away even the fuck the Empire that they wanted Marda to say. Marda Andor to say.
Fine with the alternate line.
Fight the Empire. It's what she was pushing. We gotta fight them. So we'll see.
No R. Brandon has spoken.
No R rating. We agree with you. So let's go to his third quote in this interview. He's friends with Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo talked a little bit about Marvel and how Marvel is different than Star Wars. But he's also friends with Adam Driver, that us Star Wars fans know him as Kylo Ren / Ben Solo.
He did. What was that movie?
I don't know. I read it. I didn't write it down. I know they did a movie together or something.
But I saw it. It's pretty good. This Is Where I Leave You. I love that movie. That movie was kind of funny.
Haven't seen it.
Adam Driver was hilarious in that movie.
Yeah. I mean, he's great in everything he does.
That movie... Sorry, that movie came out, I think, a couple of weeks after Force Awakens. So it was like right when
there.
I was getting obsessed with Adam Driver.
All right. I saw
it was a year
65.
Before,
I saw 65 a couple of weeks ago.
I saw it on a plane the other day. I didn't like it that much.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Weird dinosaurs that I don't think
everyone told me it was a Relo movie. I don't think it was a Relo movie.
No. Come on. Anyway, so he's friends with Adam Driver. He was he was then asking his friend with Adam Driver, was he planning a prequel to The Force Awakens following Kylo Ren? And Shawn Levy said, your words, not mine. As you know, Adam is a buddy, and I've always been a huge fan of Kylo Ren, but no comment. It was kind of tongue-in-cheek question. I don't think there's any rumors about this. But how do you feel about a prequel Kylo Ren movie? We've got the comics. There's still some wiggle room, I guess. Let's say 5 years before The Force Awakens. Are you up to a Kylo Ren prequel, or you're like, yeah, we're kind of done with this character? I know you don't believe in Ben Solo coming back as a full-on character, but I wouldn't mind a Kylo Ren prequel.
I mean, I wouldn't mind it. I don't think I don't know. Would I be upset about it? No, I love the character.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know what the story is. Like, if I had any, it's the same thing. Like when we were getting a Boba Fett movie, like, oh, we're getting okay. What's the movie about? It's not about just Boba Fett sitting down and being like, hey, I'm Boba Fett. Like, no. So just tell me what the story is, and then I'll make up my mind.
It'll be cool. You're just sitting on Java's throne. I'm Boba Fett. Speaking my stuff. I'm Boba Fett. Yeah.
I do
Give
Boba
me
Fett.
I do Boba Fett things. But some people say that's what the TV show was. But there was a rumor. That some people are saying that they already cracked the name of the Rey movie. Have you heard that one? I saw it yesterday, actually. Yeah.
Star-Crossed Lovers.
That'll be better. It's very basic, very easy to say. Oh, Star Wars, A New Beginnings. Maybe, okay. But whatever, okay. You say so.
I mean, if that's the name, like, okay.
We'll do another episode.
Out of all the names, that's the one you picked.
Yeah, okay. New Beginnings, because we couldn't think of anything new for a new movie.
I don't like most of the Star Wars titles, so that's just another thing that I hate this title.
Rise of Skywalker. We had all our theories. I was sure.
Rise of the Resistance.
Rise of the Resistance. Duel of the Fates. All right, so let's go to our main topic, which we'll see how this goes. And it's, like I said, it's our Halloween special. So let's go. Let's go Halloween specials. Wait, why didn't? Oh, there you go. There it changed. Halloween special. Woo! So scary.
Because we had different music at the beginning. Now this.
Yeah, we gotta keep it fresh. I don't know. All right, so this is, I don't even know why I'm doing this episode, because these are one of the type of shows I say I hate it, because I'm sure I'm gonna forget everything that happens in the comics, in the TV shows, in the 800 Clone Wars episode. I'm gonna leave something, but we'll try. We'll talk about some scary scenes in Star Wars, scary location, characters, whatever. So I kind of tweeted out the other day that I haven't done a lot of planning for today. I got a little bit of notes. We'll see how it goes. So Star Wars has its, I don't want to say jump scares, but it has its several scenes that can be a little bit scary. I know you're a big horror fan out there, right? Out there, you're doing on your own podcast. Yeah.
I can't wait to end the podcast and go watch horror movies.
All right, we'll be quick because my kids are going to a Halloween party at 7, so I gotta finish up early, anyways. All right, but we don't think about Star Wars, right? When we think about scary stuff, Star Wars is not what jumps to mind. But when you think about it, there's a few things out there.
Yeah, there are elements for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think in recent years, there's been some stories that can be a little bit scary. We got that Lego Terrifying Tales. That was pretty cool.
I mean, every year they're doing like this Halloween comic, like Tales from Vader's Castle, Tales from Jabba's Palace, Tales from the Death Star,
which I haven't read, so I'm probably people are gonna be pissed that I didn't. So let's start with scary places or scary locations. I'm gonna start with Exegol. I think Exegol is a very scary, spooky place in Star Wars. Just got introduced a few years ago. We got a different view of it, I guess, in Shadows of the Sith when they were trying to find their way to it. I just love the music that we get in Rise of Skywalker. It works that you have that shirt today. Of course, all the thunder and lightning that we associate with the dark side. There's the secret planet of the Sith. Darth Sidious is there with just hanging from this machine. We're getting pumped with DNA, juices, or whatever. And then we have all the failed clones, I guess, of...
I mean, that's like when... we have these Nazi horror movies and they find the secret lab where they're working on. That's basically the equivalent. Yeah. There's this movie from a couple of years ago called Overlord. I just
Oh,
remembered that movie. That
that's the
movie
German one.
is so cool.
Yeah.
It has I forget his name. Kurt Russell's son, Don
Mm.
Walker.
Wyatt.
Well, Wyatt Russell. Yeah, that movie's so awesome. I
Yeah.
just remembered it.
Yes, I'm pretty sure I saw that one. But Exegol, I wish we get more stories. You think there's? I mean, it got pretty much destroyed last time, but I don't know. Hopefully, we
I
can
don't think
get
it's
more.
destroyed. It's a whole
Let's
planet.
do it.
Like they destroyed the temple.
That's right.
I just had this mental image of aliens watching Notre Dame burn down. They're like, "Oh, Earth got destroyed."
Yeah.
I hope we get more stories here. I think they don't quite know what to do with it, because it could open like this can of worms, like, oh, the Sith planet. But I really hope they use it. It's a fun place. It's interesting. It's creepy. It's different. So I really hope we see it like come back. And again, like they destroyed a temple. It's a whole planet. It had a whole civilization that praised Sith. What happened with them? Like, I mean, a lot of them died, but like not all of them. So
yeah, all those Sith Eternals. They were just
also where were those
their
houses? Like, it didn't look that it had anything close by. Did they like transport them there?
Yeah, it's a commute. Once you're there, it's a commune. You work, you live there. There's not
like
a Costco nearby.
Subway, like, takes you there, like.
I guess it's like the aliens in War of the Worlds. They come down in their lightning. So every time you see lightning, they just come into work. That's how they get. And
They
they
live
go
in the
back out.
sky.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Man, I'm late. I gotta get on the next lightning. But I love that planet. I love the way it worked in Rise of Skywalker. I love Kylo Ren just taking that weird elevator down with those Sith statues next to it. It was so.
And how is Palpatine speaking to him? Is there like a PA system? He's like, bring me my mic.
There's a lot of echo. The one voice you've ever heard. And then he gets stuck. Just get me down. So freaking weird Palpatine. Talking about not scary, but it was kind of nasty to look at. No fingernails, just I'm all the Sith. All right.
He's
anyway,
so
Exegol.
I'll never get over him getting like unlimited power and using it to make some new robes.
It's so stupid, but whatever. It works.
He's so dramatic.
Dude, over the top. It's of all the things I could say. Finally, I'm all the Sith. Oh wait, I gotta put my red robes. The other ones were fine.
I know a lot of people like use that to criticize. I think that's like a super Palpatine thing to do.
Oh yeah.
Just I'm putting on new robes.
It's just one of those Sith Eternals working behind the column with the robe. Now, whoa, you don't see me. Oh god, I love it. All right, another place, and this been in Star Wars forever, but I do remember being scared of it when I was a little kid. This is Sarlacc Pit. That's a scary location, especially if dude, you're gonna be digested for 1,000 years or for eternity, and you're just falling down. That's scary. No, Jabba's got you. You know what? We're taking you to a pit of Carcoon, and
I mean, I for me that was like the place where the bad guy dies. Bad guys die, so I didn't really think about it like that much. Also, like I need to mention this. Like the first time I saw Return of the Jedi, I didn't speak English, so I didn't get any of the "you'll be digested for." And even if I did speak English, I didn't know what digested mean. I didn't know so I didn't really think about it. Much.
It's just a hole in the sand, and people are just falling down. I don't know. It was kind of scary. I don't like the beak. The beak is kind of weird. I'll take the tentacles. So I could have done without the beak.
I don't remember ever seeing it without. Like I have the despecialized edition that I've watched, but like I don't remember. The first time I saw Star Wars, it was a VHS, so I didn't see it with the beak. But for me, it always had the beak.
I loved it. It's not so scary now after reading from a certain point of view. There's a story with the Sarlacc that for me didn't need to be there. It kind of changes what the Sarlacc is. It's a weird.
Forget about it. Like you've thought about that for 40 years, and now you read a story.
40 years. You want me to tell you what the story is? I know you
I mean,
haven't read it
you
yet.
can tell it's not gonna change my mind on anything. Like it's just a
He's a
story.
vegetarian. The Sarlacc is a vegetarian. And he
Oh,
gets
really?
indigestion when all these metal pieces are falling in and all this plastic from the armor. He says, "Oh, it's giving me indigestion. Why are you doing this? I'm just trying to eat my plants that you destroy because this part of Tatooine used to be a lush forest and now it's just sand." So he's
Okay.
a vegetarian. But it's kind of weird.
Okay.
I did like how he got there. There are these, I don't want to say Purgles, where they're just flying in space. He's part of this pod, and I guess they all kind of go separate ways, so he got separated. And he falls in this planet, used to be a lush rainforest, and he's just eating all these plants as all these animals walking by. But then through thousands of years, it becomes what it is now, and he doesn't like getting all that weird food.
I'm not gonna get very butt actually with this, but I'm pretty sure Tatooine was an ocean planet.
Well, maybe ocean, lush forest. Maybe I forgot. Anyway, the point is it wasn't sand
That's
and
fine.
he didn't like eating people. All right. Dark side caves and dark side visions.
Ooh.
There we
Yes,
go
I
now. All right. So let's talk.
Ooh.
So let's start with the first one, Empire Strikes Back. That's still not just visually, but what it means, what it represents for the characters. Your not your worst nightmare, but this is
Only what you take with you.
your choice. This is going to be your choice for the future. So that's a very interesting kind of concept, and the way it's presented is very, let's call it, scary or spooky. And talking about not understanding what's going on, the first time I saw that scene, it's just Darth Vader helmet with Luke's face. I didn't know what that meant for probably 20 years since when I watched it the first time, but very scary scene. And then it goes to just jumping off to the sequel trilogy and The Last Jedi, the dark side cave or the mirror cave that then Rey goes through this again, also showing her the choices she needs to make. And to a lesser extent, even in Ahsoka, that vision, Force Ghost, whatever that was in episode 5, is what it represents for the characters. And that choice are they going to have to make. And then, even if we want to talk about evil or dark Rey in Rise of Skywalker, those are scenes. Okay, here we go. This is scary, but it pushes the story forward.
I kind of wish like the whole visiting the Death Star ruins would have been a little bit more fleshed out. Like again, it's none of these moments are fleshed out that much. They're just things that happen. But like I think that was like the perfect set for having a couple of jump scares in there.
Oh yeah. It would have been. I know I've seen from the art of book that they had all this concept of the stormtroopers and seeing even if it's just the armor there, and you know that there's a body or used to be a body there. We did got a little bit in when they're in Pasana, right? There's Ochi's skeleton just there, but not really a jump scare. But Dark Side Caves. Let's start that first one with in Empire. You kind of remember watching that kind of the first couple of times and being kind of spooked out about it.
I mean, I always found it creepy. Like, and
it's still
I still to this day find it unsettling that it has like earth animals there.
Yeah, that snake and the iguana.
So it's like, oh, that's in my backyard. Interesting. But it has like this. I think like more than any other dark side place in Star Wars, it has like this very eerie feeling to it, like you're not supposed to be there. So I do like that one a lot. I think that's the one I like the most.
Yeah, I mean Dagobah in itself is it's a planet you shouldn't spend too much time.
It's a swamp.
There.
Like,
it's a freaking swamp.
It probably smells horrible.
It's all muggy and sticky. The humidity has to be off the charts.
Like, why did Yoda go there? Like, of all the planets, like,
all the planets. Really? He has a little ship that can take him wherever he wants. Oh, I must go into hiding. I must go. Beep boop. She's gonna take me to the murkiest planet ever.
Going to a dark side planet. Like, really, Yoda?
Go to Naboo. Naboo's fine. Just go to the lake. He's not gonna go to Naboo. Imagine freaking Vader in Naboo. Anyway, so let's go to another one that just made its return in the ending of Ahsoka. It's Dathomir. Which planet? The Sabrak are there. The Night Sister has made it their home. Rancors are from over there. It's all red.
It's like a
Witches.
planet of witches, zombies,
Yeah.
and monsters. And I remember, like, in Fallen Order, when the world first opens up to you, you get to choose where you want to go. And Dathomir is a planet that you have to be, like, a couple levels. You have to be, like, in the higher levels because the creatures there will kill you. And I decided to go to Dathomir first. And I just walked out of my ship, looked around, and I was like, nope.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is one I wish I watched. I remember the Clone Wars to talk a little bit more about this, but a lot of bad things happened on Dathomir. That's where Mother Talzin got killed. It got destroyed like 3 times.
A lot of things, a lot of bad things happened. The entire planet annihilated.
See, that one, the whole planet got messed up.
Yeah, that time it did.
You can find it again. So another planet that people kind of, if you go in there, you're screwed, is Mustafar, which we don't know too much about. It's gotten a little bit more again with Rise of Skywalker, that intro with Kylo Ren.
Immortal?
Vader Immortal, of course. But
I
everyone
literally
knows
bought an Oculus just to play that game.
Yeah.
Yep. I haven't played it since.
There was a place, I forgot the name of those places. Sometimes they had them in Disney Springs, downtown Disney. This room, kind of this VR room that you go and you can play it, and you just get the headset and you can walk around
Star
the
Wars
whole
thing.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars thing they did.
So I don't remember the name, but I went to one in a movie theater in Texas.
Okay.
And you played as a stormtrooper in Mustafar. It was awesome. Like, I went with my fiance and her brother, and we had a ton of fun. Like, it's this big room, they give you the blaster. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't go. A friend of mine told me he was going, or he had gone already or something. You gotta go check it out. And I think I went like a week before or a week after they kind of removed it, so I couldn't play it. It's one of those things. Oh man, I wish I could have gone and done that. But Mustafar, this volcano planet, Darth Vader being talking about dramatic people, the place where one of his greatest defeats, or at least one of his first one, and he just makes it his home because he wants to suffer and just remind himself
of the Empire. Secrets of the Empire.
Okay. So Mustafar, there's little termite people that live there. You gotta harvest the lava. Talking about a bad commute in Exegol. This is not. This is pretty bad, also.
Yeah.
Mustafar, that's
Skywalkers who go there and kill everyone.
Yeah, it's one of those places. Every time it shows up on screen, we all lose our mind. It's Mustafar, and I think I've seen Vader's castle down there. So a little spire. So like, we haven't got a lot of stuff in Vader's, but
I think Exegol. I mean, I don't know, but I think Exegol could have a similar effect because it's.
Oh yeah.
Mustafar was this thing that was so cool in the movie it was used that every time we get to see it, it's like, oh, we get to be here again. So, and then, like the whole mythology of it, like, oh, and then Vader built his castle there.
Yeah.
Like, when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's cool.
Even seeing the castle at the end of Kenobi, it's like, oh, where Mustafar? I didn't Rogue One when
I hated that in Rogue One they were like undisclosed location or something like that. It's Mustafar.
There's lava. We know what it is. And he's just freaking floating there. He's on this. Any other place or location that you might think of before we jump to scary creatures? I'm sure there's more, right?
So I want to mention the Amaxin space station in Into the Dark. I think like the first time I was reading that book, like especially like those first pages when they're there and they're exploring and Des disappears, it gave me such like an alien feeling to it, like them getting out of the ship and exploring like the xenomorph planet and finding the X. Like it had that feeling, and I freaking loved it. Like while I was reading it.
Speaking of,
no,
keeping going with the Amaxin station is we made fun of me last week when I asked if Peridia was gonna show up in the High Republic, and like Filoni doesn't read the High Republic. I know, I'm waiting. But when you see how the High Republic authors connect everything in that Kylo Ren comic book, the Amaxin station is there. We have no idea what it is. It's broken down space station with weird glass panels. And there's a story that something happened here. And 3 years later, it's one of the creepiest places ever with these totems or whatever they put all the dark side into. Oh, that's so creepy.
I mean, Alberto, like even going further in Bloodline, Claudia talks about the Amaxin station.
Oh,
the
wow.
Amaxines, not the station, the Amaxines specifically.
Yeah, which is
weird. Interesting because Snoke used that as a guise to invade, and there he was hanging out at the station.
Yeah, Bloodline is one of those books similar to Rising Storm. I gotta go back because when it came out, it was I think it was the first canon book that I read. And people were all over the moon of this book is so great, sets everything up for The Force Awakens. So I was expecting something different. I really enjoyed it. But I kind of was missing something. I think I gotta go back and then start getting all those little clues.
If you think it was missing something, yes, go back and read it.
Yeah, I gotta go. Phenomenal. But yeah, the Amaxin station, especially Snoke was there with his little cap, with his a little cap, and the slippers.
Hey, Kylo.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta go play a round of golf.
He kind of looks like a stoner, like sitting there, like, oh, I want to watch some TV, some football.
Yeah, he's like, just the first one's free. Don't worry about it. All right, so that's a good one. I forgot about the Amaxin station. So let's talk about scariest creature. And I'm not gonna forget about this. I'm going straight to the High Republic. It's the scariest being out there right now. Is the Nameless or the Leveler. Yep. There's nothing worse at this moment. It's just a way.
Creature, like no.
I remember when they said, "Oh, the High Republic, what the Jedi are afraid of," and then we got the Nile, and they're pirates. The Jedi not gonna be afraid. It's all about
the Drengir was like, "Oh, is this it?" And they talked about the hyperspace that they used it in a dangerous way, and we were like, "How are these people gonna be so scared?" Oh,
that's why.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. The Nameless, and Eye of Darkness. So the Nameless are this creature for people out there that, I mean, if you listen to us, you know what the High Republic is, but it's these weird creatures. I can't even describe them.
With tentacles
it's even in this last book, it kind of said the skin is too tight, but at the same time too big. You got these tendrils coming out, this weird tail. The Jedi don't know because they can't see them because they kind of affects their connection to the Force, so they don't know what they're fighting. All their fears come out. There's nothing like it in terms of.
No, we've never seen anything like this. Definitely,
and it's gonna be difficult to surpass in terms of scary creatures in the universe. Yeah, you can draw something that looks worse, but the effect it has on the characters, it's going to be very difficult to top the Nameless.
Yeah, no, and I think talking about scary places, like those scenes in Fallen Star when they're walking through starlight as it's beginning to fall and there's no power and they feel something but they can't see anything. I love that Stellan Geo's encounter when he's saved by the glass door that suddenly falls. Oh shit! Oh, what the fuck?
Keep that thought because we're gonna talk about spookiest moments later, and I kind of had something very similar to that. So keeping with the High Republic, we kind of mentioned is the Drengir, which at the same time these carnivorous plants that feed on the dark side. I remember reading Into the Dark that the Sith were even so scared that they had to put all their energy into these statues just to hold them. I'm like, what can be so consuming the dark side that the Sith are afraid of? And they just want the meat. Meat. And
I'll say this. For me, the Drengir fall more on the silly category.
Okay.
Scary because
meat. It's funny. It's very funny.
It's so weird. And then you use the Force with them and the leaves fall out. Like
it's one. I think when it was introduced, they were so new to what their effect was. Because at the same time, what happened to Death, right? His connection to the Force was severed. They had to go do a barrage route to try and find it. But I think as the comics went on, yeah, there were a menace out there. Well,
Yeah,
they're walking
they
and
got a little
talking.
bit silly. They
Yeah.
got a little bit silly for sure. And then Race to Crash Point Tower again. They're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
I'll say this: I'm kind of disappointed on the use of the Drain Gear.
I thought they were going to be more prominent after they were introducing into the dark.
Kind of like the leveler, like, oh, it's this thing that the Jedi really don't know how to fight. Oh, okay, it's done.
Yeah, I think they dropped the ball, but it was going to be difficult to manage the Nile, Marking Road, the leveler plus the Drain Gear. But they took a big chunk of the comics at the start. So
they have a big arc, but again, it's like if they introduced the leveler in Rising Storm and then it gets resolved on the Star Wars Adventure comics. Like I thought it was going to be bigger than it was.
Yeah. All right, but the introduction was pretty cool and scary. It's not a creature. We're gonna say seeing Darth Maul the first time. It's something we don't expect to see in Star Wars. It's black and red with horns all over. It's supposed to be this kind of devil image, of course, and then Qui-Gon is Jesus Christ. But the first time you see Darth Maul, especially if you're a kid in 1999, yeah, let's go see Star Wars because this is for 8 years old. Oh, what the hell is this?
I was 6 when I saw this movie. I was not afraid of Darth Maul.
Well, sorry,
I thought he was cool.
All right,
I thought he wasn't scary. He was just a cool guy with a lightsaber.
Dude, okay, here we go. I'm gonna erase my little.
I mean, you're trying to. How old were you when Phantom?
It's 19 or 18. 18 going on 19.
I was 6, and you're trying to tell me what I was supposed to be afraid of.
Yes.
No.
Don't make me feel old. It's freaking 9.
Stop! Can you hear that?
I just heard what you yelling it's stuck, but I didn't know what.
Okay, so no, I have like this shredder here, and it's randomly turning on.
No, I got my trash bin like 2 inches from my face, so I keep kicking it. All right, something, and this one is not scary for me, but people that are arachnophobic might be. So those ice spiders in Mandalorian season 2. If you're afraid of my brother, because he's the old one here, pushing 50. He's not he's not here. He's freezing his ass off in Boston. He doesn't like spiders. So every time I say spider, I gotta let him know. So ice spiders, I understand why people might not like them too much. That's what I got. I don't got any more scary creature. I know there's more. We got, I don't know. That's enough for me.
I mean, the Dianoga in
so Dianoga is scarier than the Sarlacc pit.
I was scared of it.
How old were you when you saw it? 2?
Probably. Yeah, like I just love that scene so much. Like the whole trash compactor scene.
I'll give you. It says we can do it in Spookiest moment because that scene we'll leave it. We'll leave it for Spookiest moment in a minute. But talking about watching things when you're younger, I mentioned before when I watched Return of the Jedi, I was 3, and I was afraid of Jabba the Hutt when he came out. This weird slug. So I don't see
another scary thing. I wasn't afraid of it, but it's a scary thing. The Death Troopers, like.
Okay, let's jump to on that. Let's jump because you're doing all my stuff. Spookiest moment.
Just to set the record straight, I have no access to this. I have no notes.
There's nothing. For people that love having a full schedule what's going on, this is a spookiest episode for them because there's have been 0 planning. I just told you we're doing Halloween episode and that's it. Yep. So we're just winging it. So spookiest moment, the first one I had, because it just happens, the undead night troopers. So okay, go ahead. Spookiest moment, the night troopers waking up.
No, and I was talking specifically the Death Troopers that we finally learned that they are zombies. So because there was this rumor that they, in Galaxy rumors that people were like, are they even alive or what are they? And no, they're freaking zombies. And cutting off the helmet and seeing. And
how do you control them? If they're zombies, how I guess they're intelligent zombies.
Alberto, we're in a galaxy with space wizards and clones. Like, stop.
I'm not complaining about it. I just trying to find an in-universe
I
explanation.
think they have like a
Maybe
brain thing or something. I don't know.
I thought zombies didn't
But
have brain, and that's why they want brains.
who said they don't have brains?
I don't know.
They eat brains.
They,
It maybe doesn't work, but it's there. But I did love the whole Night Troopers and them being like,
yeah,
that was funny.
yeah. Watching the Night Troopers wake up, even though it's something that we kind of been expecting in that second episode, or not since Thrawn appeared. Okay, there's dead zombies in there. It's a cool scene. You can say it's spooky, and yeah, the Night Troopers, because Night Troopers in general, I mean, Death Troopers in general, are pretty tough. And then you turn them into these more undead zombies anyway. It's difficult for Sabine and Ezra to get through. So that was a pretty cool scene. So we kind of mentioned this already, talking about the name.
I wanted to quickly mention that because you were complaining about this. We're getting an Enoch action figure.
I know we're getting an Enoch action figure. Oh no, I was complaining that the Funko Enoch was just an Entertainment Earth exclusive.
You can order it online.
I know.
I think.
I just wish I didn't have to go through.
There's an Enoch action figure coming. It's vintage collection, which I don't love, but I'm getting it 100%. And we're getting vintage collection Night Troopers, which I'm also getting because even though I hate vintage collections, I love those designs.
I'll see what they look like. I'm not a fan of the vintage collection. I've stopped collecting for the most part, just a couple of Funko Pops here and there. I will hopefully get the Thrawn Funko Pop for Ahsoka. I didn't get the. Here he goes. What does he have?
I got a batch of Black Series. I'm not gonna show all of them, but I did get this one.
Oh, that's Sabine. Does it look cool? Looks really cool from here.
Yeah, Sabine.
Yeah. What else? Are you gonna you leave them inside the box? You're a box guy.
They got here and I left for my parents' house, so I haven't been here.
So my question.
Talk about creepy people. Darth Malgus from Legends.
Yeah. If you take Sabine out of the box, are you gonna display her with the helmet or without the helmet?
That's that's a great question. I actually have a Rebel Sabine. I think with.
Yeah, you gotta go with.
I'll take her out of the box. But, yeah.
So I'll get the Thrawn one because my neighbor has the Thrawn from Rebels or whatever, and you go online. That's like $1,000 right now if you want trying to get one. So I'll probably get that one and something else. I don't know. I'll get one more. Hey, Buck is here.
Yes, I do want to see her face. It's too early to make these kind of comments, but let's just say I respectfully look at Sabine.
All right, when you can't say, I have the Sabine Funko Pop without the helmet. So
okay,
cool.
So you said you were getting the.
I'll get the Thrawn one. I'll get the Balon. Yeah, I'll get the Balon one because I love the little beard on him. Looks great. The Night Troopers look pretty awesome. There's 2 of them for some reason. I'll maybe get one. So Christmas is coming soon, so I'll probably put that on my list.
I'm done with Funkos, but I'm still getting the Black Series. And I need to stop, but they still keep making good ones.
Yeah. It's just those vintage collection. I know people go crazy for the vintage collection, but I haven't seen one that I like.
I don't like vintage collection.
Yeah,
I like the 6-inch figures, Black Series. But yeah.
All right, so let's get back to our show. So you were talking earlier about
Buck, behave.
And he's even it's like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock for him. So.
Oh yeah, right.
So we talked about the leveler. You were mentioning how Stellan was feeling the effects of the leveler when the doors were closing. So that's a spooky moment. It's reading how the leveler affects the Jedi. And every time we read it, it gets worse and worse because we get more into it. With Loden Greystorm, it's just something happens, a creature jumped over him and he turned to stone. And then the more we get into it and the leveler is more prominent, all these explanations are getting extended and extended, especially in the Fallen Star. Like first you start getting this hunger, or you start getting scared and afraid for something, and you get cold, and when every time it's more. And when Orla Joreni feels it's so heavy, and then when Elsar Man is going down the elevator, he just goes through it. He's like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. For me, like the worst one was like the first time with Stellan Geos, with Loading Great Storm. And I do this with every single book I read. Every single one. I always read the last sentence of the book first.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. I've always done this since high school. And when I got Rising Storm, I read the last sentence, and it was like, oh, and Stellan Geos felt fear or something like that. And throughout the entire book, I was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
And when it happened, I was shocked. Even though I knew that was the last sentence. I was like, is this it?
I sometimes do that, but if I'm on the last page, I can, what the hell happened? Okay, I got to finish. I don't do it at the beginning. I'll be afraid.
I had that discipline. I just read the last sentence of the book. I don't know. I have no idea why I do that. I just do it.
Me neither. I might try it one day. Not right now, but I'll try it someday. Dark Side Possessions. I'm talking mainly about Mask. We mentioned a little bit Secrets of the Sith. So we have Viceroy, Exxon Punchard, and his mask. Taking that whole book is pretty creepy.
The whole Kaiser. I love that place where she and Luke fight. It's very creepy.
That scene, that book, man, that's what I love. I said that High Republic kind of shows you that how the Jedi are different, how they see the Force different, and then just how they see it is just all full on dark side, all this weird stuff. Same as Darth Plagueis. That's kind of a bunch of creepy stuff. But
those flashbacks of seeing X and Punch, was it him killing everyone?
And with that weird sword. The whole book and the whole scene, every time she gets possessed by the mask, even by the end where he basically takes over and just fighting with her dead bodies. Oh, that's so freaking creepy. And I guess Mask, just to keep with the theme, it's moment with Vader when trying to get his castle built. He just keeps killing and using the mask to just, Stormtrooper, you're next. Now you're Moment again. And then Moment kind of learning all those dark side possessions. Those are scary moments. And I don't want I don't need a horror Star Wars, but those moments, they hit different. And I do love them.
You can do PG-13 horror.
Yeah. All right. And this it's not a spooky moment in terms like those ones that we mentioned, but what it means for the saga going forward. I think the opera scene in Revenge of the Sith kind of turning. Yeah, it's pretty ominous. You can say it's a little bit spooky seeing how Anakin's like, well, what are you talking about? You say that we can help people from dying or stop people from dying? I think you can put that over there.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so that's what I got. I got nothing else.
I'm not really afraid of many things, so especially in a made-up galaxy. But I mean, I think the beginning of episode 6 in Ahsoka, like getting to Peridia, going through the
boneyard,
graveyard of the Purgles, then going to the castle, and it's dark. You have the witches standing there. That was pretty creepy.
It was. I'll give you that one. Even to a lesser extent in Kenobi when they're in whatever the place is called, with the Inquisitorius Temple, whatever that place, and they have all the dead Jedi.
Fortress Inquisitorius.
Fortress Inquisitorius. Yeah, all the dead Jedi in that.
Yeah, that was creepy
jail.
Too.
Yeah. So there's a few. If we start thinking about it, there's a few little things.
I still love that episode. I don't know why people were so upset about it.
I love that it goes from that to then just the trench coat scene of her just hiding.
We see that Terracinove. And we also get that scene with the dark room and Kenobi just like.
Yeah. Oh god, I love it. I gotta go back and watch Kenobi. It wasn't perfect. It's my favorite series.
I watched it way too many times when it came out. So
the whole thing, the whole series.
Alberto, I freaking adore that show. Like it was like my Star Wars wet dream, basically.
I guess it's not early already.
I think I'm behaving. Stop.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, by
All
the way,
right.
Bert, I have to mention something. Remind me after we stop recording. I have to mention something to you.
After we stop recording. Okay. Off air. All right, so that kind of does it for in-universe Star Wars Scariest theme. But we talked a little bit before. I guess I kind of reached out to you. Hey, this Halloween, have you ever dressed up as a Star Wars character? You said just once in 1999. You didn't have a picture, but what
1999.
was it? And then I'm going to
I
show some of mine.
I just want to quickly say, like, I'm not against Halloween in any way. Like, it's just something that I've never really been. I don't like dressing up. Like, I'm just like a t-shirt guy or polo. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like the kind of thing that for me, like, it comes and goes. I usually like remember it's Halloween like 2 days before. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch Halloween that day, and that's it. And turn off the lights so the kids won't come trick or treating. So yeah, I've never been big into it. In high school when I would go to parties or something, I would just like figure it out that same day. So yeah, I was never big into dressing up or anything. So going back to that, like the only time I remember dressing up for Halloween was in 1999, dressed up as Obi-Wan Kenobi because Phantom Menace had just come out. And I did have that costume like lying around my room for a while. But yeah, I maybe have pictures of it, but my parents aren't here, so I wasn't gonna call them in Las Vegas being like, hey, where are the old pictures?
No, that would be too weird.
Yeah.
So just random Halloween question, because I don't remember from Puerto Rico. When does it start, and by what time do you expect kids to be done? Up down here, it's very strict. It's like from 6 in the afternoon till 8. At 8,
I mean,
everything's shut off. Get the hell out of my neighborhood.
It's usually like that
Okay.
over here. It's usually like every neighborhood has their Halloween party, and after that, kids start going trick or treating. After usually 8:30, like what's left on the streets are teenagers doing teenager things. So,
teenagers thing.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned Kenobi, and I've dressed up as a Star Wars character, I think 3 times. And everyone knows I have my helmets. I see my 4 helmets. I just put them almost on a daily basis.
Can I do something quickly?
Just do something.
You showed it, but I was talking. So, is it Buck? Is it? Is it really?
It's been very contrarian, right? I don't know. Reason.
He likes to rile us up.
Yeah.
We're talking Loki, by the way, because I saw the 4th episode.
Oh, okay. Let's hurry this up then. We gotta get to Loki. So I've dressed up, I think, 3 times as a Star Wars character. Not counting all the times I put my helmet on just to walk around. So the first one was the second year I was here in the States with my wife. We went to a house party. From our friends from work did a Halloween party. So I went, and I'm gonna show the picture in a moment. Just painting the picture. I went as Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader, talking about things that we figured out that day. I had the costume, but we went out that afternoon, bought a bald cap. My wife did the makeup. And this is a very grainy picture. But my wife also went as a Star Wars character. And she went as Obi-Wan Kenobi from Attack of the Clones. And she's better than me. And she just looks great. Let me see if we can see that. There we go. So she did the beard. I don't know if you can see, she has the little Padawan braid also right there. So she was great. She did better than me.
How did people take you seriously up there? You're posing there, but I'm pretty sure you talk to people.
Dude, and I don't have it here. I had the mask. I had a crappy Darth Vader mask also, and
you had the mask also.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dude, they didn't take me serious, but people would just dress up as whatever. And I'll say there's another, I forgot. I also went as Darth Maul, like in 2000, a party that I did. I went as Darth Maul. That one wasn't as good. All right.
I think you showed me that picture also.
I did? Maybe. All right, let me...
No, I see the Joker one.
Yeah, and that wasn't the best either. All right, so this was a couple of years ago, actually, 2018 when the movie came out. Doing my best, Han Solo, and talk about people making fun of me. This was at a work conference. a yearly work conference, like a big one. Like everyone comes to this conference, not just from work. The whole U.S. goes to this conference. It was in Baltimore, so I did my best Han Solo stuff. And of course, people were asking, and someone asked a friend of mine, "Oh, who's he supposed to be?" And he just said, "He's a space cowboy." And I do this Han Solo. It's like, dude, they're not gonna know. I just mentioned space cowboy, and I guess it works. So we're just gonna leave it like that.
I mean, that's what you are.
That is. But I was walking there in the middle of Baltimore. I'd never been, just dressed like this. But it was Halloween, so who cares? And
Surprised
then
you didn't get jumped.
yeah, probably they just saw the holster and thought I had a blaster there, which I didn't. But it was kind of When the worst thing was, I bought the belt and the belt buckle with the holster and all that. I bought it from Amazon for about $15. It didn't work. I tried to return it because it's a weird shape, but the clips on the back were facing the wrong way. So the belt buckle was always kind of sideways. So I tried to return it, and they were like, no, you bought it, that's yours. Not joking, at the end of the night, as we're walking out the last place we're in, it just broke apart. And it just hanging there. So,
that sucks.
And then last year, I just put on my Captain Cardinal helmet, and actually that's a Darth Vader blazer. I don't know if you can tell, it has the little Vader lights on the sides.
That's the one you wore for one of the trivias.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just went like that. I might do something similar for this one. I'll probably just use my new helmet this time around. All right, so that's it. Yeah. All right, Otis. So, all right, we mentioned, let's go. Let's talk World Between Fandoms. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Just what are the comments? I see there's 2 comments there. All right, World Between Fandoms. He remembers that pick. All right. So the World Between Fandoms. Let's talk about Loki real quick. Let's just jump to this last episode. I just loved it. So just tell me your thoughts on it.
I mean, we're talking spoilers, right?
Yeah, it's spoilers. People know.
I was shocked. Like, what an way to end an episode. Like,
yeah. Coming from episode 3, that wasn't my favorite. It was good, but I think
I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I really liked it a lot.
I think it just dragged on a little bit in the beginning and middle part, and then the last 15-20 minutes were fine. But this episode this week was just full on. Talk about great writing. And still poor Mobius. We know he's gonna find out.
This book.
See you, Buck. Take care. Gotta love him. So we talked a little bit before about Mobius and Loki pressing him a little bit about not trying to figure out what he was in the actual world, and now we get Sylvie kind of pressing him also. It's like, when we find out, it's gonna be so heartbreaking. I think
that was very interesting because I totally bought his argument on not wanting to find out, being this very personal thing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, good. And then we get Sylvie challenging on that idea, and it flips it on its head, and it doesn't feel that noble anymore because she's basically saying you have no stakes in this because you don't want to have any stakes in this. So how can you say that you care and that you want to help everyone when you have no idea what you're fighting for? Like,
just another day in the office. Those are just lines on the screen.
There's no stakes in it for you, and for you it's just like lines disappearing in a computer. Like that was actually pretty smart because again he makes this very compelling argument onto why he doesn't want to know, and then Sylvie like, nah, you're just a coward.
That's the easy way. But I also love how they got to that point because 2 episodes before, it's when he gets kind of flustered talking to Brad, and Loki's like, let's go get some pie, let's calm you down. And then we have that conversation. They say, let's go get some pie. She's like, what the hell? No, the world is ending. You're trusting these 3 guys and you want to have pie. You haven't even gone out there to figure out what your life was after you knew we were all a variant. And then we get that great conversation. And of course, Sylvie ends up in Pie Land anyway. And another great conversation about, killing is easy. Destroying is easy. Hope is hard. And like, freaking Loki, you got me.
They again, the writing is great on this show, like, and how I think it's very smart of them to basically, because this is not our Loki. This is not the Loki we've been seeing since 2008, I think. No, 2010. Yet they've done a great job catching him up to that arc and forcing him to have that arc. And I'm just always like in awe of what they're doing with him. And again, him, Loki of all people, being like, just dare to hope.
Yeah, I love the whole, again, the way we got there is, oh yeah, years ago, my brother Thor was banished to Earth, and I thought he was soft. I was making fun of him. And it's not living with humans, and you understand why they need to do this. Sylvie's been living with the humans and now getting all those feelings. Like,
by the way, just a quick mention from a couple episodes ago. I love how they framed the Battle of New York as a temper tantrum.
Yeah, right. So, yeah.
I was just upset.
Have the city. Yeah. I love when, and it might be a little bit on the nose, but I just love the deliveries when of course it's free will. What's free will, right? And it's I understand Sylvie saying we gotta give people free will and stand back. That's free will. And Loki's like, we can't, because we can't just give people free will and walk away. Look what happened. We'll do a better job than He Who Remains. And
you're playing God. We are gods.
We are gods. And like, you gotta say, he has to say, but the way he delivers, we are gods. And like, oh man, but I see both sides. It's hard to pick who's right. It's like, it's so great.
Again, I do love, again, how they flip things on their head, because I think Sylvie has always made a very compelling argument on what her plan is. But on the previous episode, Loki's basically telling her, you're doing the same thing Kang is doing. This guy, Victor Timely, has no plan to do what you think he's going to do, yet you want to take that choice away from him.
Yeah. So
again, it's been great.
It's been great. And even her saying, oh, you couldn't kill him. He just looked so afraid. I couldn't do it. He Who Remains wasn't, or maybe he was. I was just too crazy to even figure it out. And then that ending, I'm surprised that he just got dissolved into spaghetti. But then everything blows up. It's the end. We're done. MCU is over. It's like,
I think that's kind of what happens.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Maybe Kevin Feige was like, implode it.
I'm done with this.
We're starting over.
I love everything so far. It's one of those series. It's only 6 episodes, but I can't wait for this next 2.
Secret Invasion left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Oh yeah,
it's the closest I've ever been to like being like, I'm done with this. But this show has done a pretty good job bringing me back in. I don't know what's in store for us in Captain Marvel. I loved the first movie. I loved Miss Marvel, so I'm hoping it's good. The trailers haven't really blown me away, so we'll see. But I do wish the MCU starts rolling again, because it's been pretty disappointing. It's even a movie like Ant-Man. I don't think that movie was bad, but it was just so meh. There was nothing special about it.
I cannot mention. I think I mentioned last week or the week before. If let's say everything gets refreshed now with Loki. Loki to me, it's what the future should be in terms of all these multiverse or whatever. I think Loki's doing it great.
I mean, but they've had the chance to lean into that, and every single time it's like gone back and been like, no, it's kind of like if they're afraid to, because we got a movie like Multiverse of Madness. We barely saw the multiverse. And again, this could have had huge stakes. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
and even a show like WandaVision, which I loved, it's based on a House of M, which was this massive reset, not a reset button, but kind of for the X-Men.
Yeah.
And they had the chance to do it, and no, we're not doing it. So for the multiverse saga, they haven't done much multiverse.
I think they made a huge mistake in announcing all this. Even though in the past I've been in favor of these lates. This is Secret Wars and this Kang invasion. It's like there's two different things. It's too much convoluted. Are we doing the Kree stuff and the scrolls, or is it multiverse? It's pick one and go forward. And then all these shows, which I enjoyed a lot of them, and I understand what they say. Not everything has to connect at the moment. It's been like 4 years, and we don't know where this is going.
It's weird because I think the issue wasn't this late. I think the issue was announcing what this phase is and announcing Avengers, because like that doesn't set up expectations. Like we're still waiting. How is this connecting? How are we getting to Kang Dynasty? Like because we thought it Ant-Man was going to be the catalyst for it. It really wasn't.
Not really.
So
I could have done without Ant-Man right now. After watching what they're doing with Loki, Ant-Man 3 should be something different. I don't know. It's like you say, are we going that way? Or no, we're just going around it.
I mean, if it had taken that leap and pushed the universe forward, then fine. But it didn't. It really didn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing really. Like I've been here before. Like I hated Age of Ultron, and I was like, I don't know where the MCU is going. I don't know what this is. And a couple of years later, they proved me wrong. So it could happen again, but they're really in a rough moment.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if it's their worst moment, but it's rough.
Yeah, I don't know. There's so much stuff out there that it's difficult sometimes when you have one or two kind of stumbles to then get people back on it. But hopefully
they need another Spider-Man movie.
Everyone loved that one till after 2 months afterward. Then people hated it as always.
I was watching it last night. I cried and everything.
Yeah, I'm sure. Every time I watch that, I gotta watch it again. But writer's strike, fortunately, that got resolved. Actor strike seems to be getting.
Don't say it. Fingers crossed.
Keep fighting for it, and hopefully soon we'll get some good movies and good stories now that they're fighting for those writing rooms and all that stuff. Before we end, again, Loki's been great. I started watching Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix.
I want to see it this night.
All right.
No. I'm a huge Flanagan fan, and every Flanagan fan I know has told me it's amazing.
Okay, so maybe I love Haunting on Hill House. Freaking loved it. Bly Manor was good, didn't mash up, and then Midnight Mass was pretty good. Last episode was weird, but I really enjoyed it. I didn't watch Hellfire Club or whatever. I haven't watched that one. And
I haven't seen Midnight Mass, by the way.
Midnight Mass is pretty.
I've heard
it's pretty good. And I watched part of that movie Hush that he also did. I watched like 3/4. Cool. I didn't finish it for some reason. I gotta go back and finish again. Same actress. This one, I don't know. I'm not getting into it. And I'll tell you why. It's because Succession has spoiled me, because it's about
I've heard.
It's a family dysfunctional. They have all this money. People hate them. But in Succession, you root for those characters. They're bad people, but they're still fun and engaging. I don't care about any of these characters. I'm like 4 episodes in. I'll finish it.
Okay.
For me, so far, it's kind of on the bottom part with all the other Flanagan thing.
No, I've heard people say like it's the best Flanagan show.
All right, maybe again, just my opinion, and then hopefully when you
I'll
watch
it and tell you if you're just being a grump.
I don't. Okay, we'll talk. I'm not enjoying it as much as I hope, because I love all the other 3 shows that I've seen from him. I love them so much. I really enjoyed most of them. This one, it's not hitting that bar, and maybe that's on me. Okay. All right, Alti.
I have a quick mention that you're gonna like.
Here we go.
I have an announcement to make. November 25th, I will be watching the Doctor Who special. Because I promised Tony.
Oh my goodness, we gotta make a special show here. Forget about
That's
Star
the day
Wars.
For my birthday, by the way, November 25th.
So happy birthday in 1 month. Oh man, I'm so psyched.
Let's see if this is the time. But I told Tony I'll watch all 3 specials.
But I don't think all 3 are dropping on the 25th.
No, it's one per week. He told me it's November 25th, December 2nd. And
no.
I don't know.
Okay. When you say you'll be watching all 3, I thought you meant watching all 3 on the 25th. But
no.
Yeah.
No,
So
but
we'll
I
talk
told
about
him
that here.
I'll give it the chance. I'll watch the 3 specials and then make my definitive mind if it's not for me, or if I'm willing to give it another chance.
The trailer. Talk about trailers.
I mean, it looked good. I watched the trailer. It looked solid.
You gotta go. I know. You should try to watch some of the David Tennant and Catherine Tate episodes.
I don't know why you've made it up in your mind that I haven't. I've tried different jumping on points. It's just so weird.
But have you watched this pairing, like this doctor with this companion? Have you watched those?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I tried the Eccleston, I don't know.
Yeah.
I told a friend of mine I'm not liking it. She told me jump to David Tennant and watch him with I don't know what her name is.
Catherine Tate.
She's from The Office.
Yeah.
And I just don't like it.
Okay. All right. Hopefully the 3rd time is the charm for you.
This will be like the 5th time because I also tried jumping on with Matt Smith.
Dude, I know I give you flag for it, but if you tried 5 times, I commend you.
No, the thing is, it's something that's straight up my alley, so I just don't understand why I don't like it.
All right, we'll leave it there because I gotta take my kids to a Halloween party, and we go back to the creepy music. Oti, thanks for being here. Thanks to Brennan and for Buck and everyone else watching later or listening to this. Thanks for being here. We'll see you guys next week as we talk more Star Wars. Stay safe. Be safe in Halloween. Don't take candy from strangers. See you next week. May the force be with you.
Careful with the racers.
It's a lot of drugs and candy.